In the shadows of the old library halls, where the dust is thick and the silence calls, books tell stories of the things unseen, of foxes wild and spirits keen. Whispers in the stacks they creep, ghostly chills that steal your sleep. Paranormal truths no one believes, they linger here like autumn's leaves. Bibles open to verses dark, stories written to leave their mark. The wildlife outside hears the moans, silent foxes, the forest groans. The last of these you cannot tame, a history buff who knows no shame. Paranormal life outside hears the moans, silent foxes, the forest groans. The past of beast you cannot tame, a history buff who knows no shame. Paranormal tales in every spine, haunting truths that cross the line. Whispers in the stacks they creep, ghostly chills that steal your sleep. Paranormal truths no one believes, they linger here like autumn's leaves. Spirits waltz through moonlit air, books fall down as if to dare. Foxes howl in the wooded shade, they guard the truths that time forbade.
Hello, 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 and good evening, and Happy New Year. Excuse me. Happy New Year to all of my loyal guild members. So happy to see you guys. I didn't do much advertising on this one. It was kind of a last minute show, I guess. I wasn't I don't know. I guess I got my days confused. I didn't realize there was a Friday in here somewhere. So there was a Friday, obviously today. So I put this up. I put the thumbnail up, I believe, at the beginning of the week sometime, maybe Monday. I don't know, but I didn't put out a short or anything. So I don't expect a lot of folks to be here today. So we'll do with what we have. But Lenny is here, Victor and Edgar are all here. So I'm happy, and I'm happy that you're here too. So hello there, Sweet Tea. Good to see you. Paulie Donuts is in the house as always. Thank you, my friend. Stiggs is hanging out. Ryan is here. Hello, Ryan. Arlene Merlino. Good to see you. Hi, Patty. Good to see you. I see Bella is here. Good to see you. Who else is here? I saw a couple of more people. I may be mistaken, but Tammy Thompson is here. Hi, Tammy. Good to see you. And I think that's it for now. So anyway, I hope everyone is having a happy New Year. This at least one day of it so far, 2 days of it, I guess. On this 9th day of Christmas, I hope you're seeing my shorts on the days of Christmas, and I hope you're enjoying them. That's just a pet peeve of mine how modern day society doesn't understand that Christmas starts on 25th. So you're supposed to, the celebration is supposed to go through the 6th. So I don't know, somewhere along the line we missed that. A modern day society went the opposite way, and people were putting up Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving, which this year, which was bizarre to me. I don't even understand that, but who the heck knows? Yes, please press the like button. That's awesome. Thank you, Paulie, for reminding us of that. Yeah, Lenny's hanging out. Lenny is relaxing, and Edgar is on the shelf today with Victor too. He's usually on Lenny's shoulder, but today he's hanging out with Victor, keeping him company. Thank you, Paulie. You're always my biggest supporter. That is so awesome. You are the best. Five memberships gifted. That is awesome. Thank you so much. I can't see from the chat here who got him. Let me see. Oh, Gianni gets one. Awesome. Who else here gets one? James Simpson. Very cool. Who else? BK Skip. Haven't seen him in a while. Bill C. Good to see. All right, great. All people that actually show up got the memberships. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, and Stig's gifting one. That's awesome. Thank you, Stigs. Who do we have here? Who do we have on this one? I can't see. This is not cool. Muka Zone. Muka Zone got one. Whoever Muka Zone is, I don't know who that is. But okay, Muka Zone, you got a membership. Good for you. Excellent. Well, thank you guys. I really, really appreciate that. All right. So tonight I only have 3 stories. Don't have a lot tonight. I don't know if you recall last year I did New Year's Eve stories, so I kind of burnt myself out last year. There's not that many that are really associated ghost stories with New Year's Eve, but I found 3 more, and these are word of mouth stories. They're not documented story legends. They're word of mouth stories, so that's kind of interesting. That's really the ghost stories you want to hear. The personal accounts by people. Hello, Theme Do, my brother. Thank you for staying up. That's awesome. Thank you for hanging out. So, like I said, I got 3 of them. And then I have some very bad paranormal videos. They're getting worse and worse. So I admit it up front. So I don't know. I may stop doing them altogether. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. The pickings have not been lush. The pickings, unlike Frank Sinatra would say, the pickings have been lush. The pickings have not been lush. So in terms of the paranormal. So anyway, let's get started. 11 people on the chat in an unscheduled Friday. A weird Friday. January 2nd, 2026. I got to get used to saying that, 2026. I don't know if you guys are anything like me, where I forget and it takes me a while to actually write 2006. I'll be doing 2025 through January, off and on. But we'll get there, right? We'll get there. All right, so let's talk about my first story. My first story takes place in a place called Willowbrook, Illinois. Now, yeah, Sweet Tea says it'll take her 3 months, and probably your students too, right, Sweet Tea? They're probably dating. I remember doing that in school. I used to date it all wrong. I used to date my papers all wrong for a while. But this takes place in a place called Willowbrook, Illinois. And in this town, it's a quiet suburban town of Chicago. I think it's north of Chicago. And there was an old mansion in this town that was owned by a star of the silent films. So the 1920s, a silent film star owned this mansion. And it was a pretty big mansion. He would hold a lot of big parties and balls there, and it became a famous location. Some famous people would go there and visit him because he was a star himself, so he would hobnob with famous people of the time. And this went on for a while. Over the years, however, after he died, the place kind of turned into shambles. It kind of dissolved, falling apart, ivory overgrowing it, just an old abandoned mansion. No one really cared for it. So it became a target in town for kids to kind of hang out or see if you can encounter a ghost in this old creepy mansion. So one New Year's Eve, actually in 1987, a group of teens decided they were going to spend New Year's Eve in the mansion. That was going to be the dare. They're going to see if they can survive the night and watch the sit through the year ringing in this spooky mansion. So they do that. They break into the mansion and they begin to wander around and explore. And the place is dusty and cold and creepy and falling apart. Like I said, it was not a very safe place to begin with. An old building like that was pretty big, but they do come across an area, a big, which was one of the big ballrooms, the place where he held this silent movie star held all his parties, and in the middle of this huge ballroom, and like I said, it's all dusty and plaster is falling and all over the debris all over the place. And and obviously I do not have a picture of this because the place was demolished. It doesn't exist anymore. And this is just a word of mouth story. But I did find something on the internet which kind of represents what the place would have looked like at that time. So I want to share that with you just as so you can get a good perspective of what I'm talking about here. All right, here we go. And this is obviously AI generated, but it's a good idea of the environment I'm talking about. So this group of teens is in this old mansion exploring, and they come across this ballroom, and in the ballroom is this grand piano, and it's covered with dust, and it's a mess. So hello, Bill C, good to see you. And it's growing close to midnight. It's growing closer. It's not there yet when one of the group decides to find the strength or the courage, I should say, find the courage to go up and play the piano. Now, this is against the wishes of the rest of the group. They're pretty unnerved about the situation. They don't even want to go near this thing. But this individual is a little bit brazen, and he goes up and he starts to tap on the keys, the dusty old yellow keys of this piano. And he only gets to like three notes, maybe four, when suddenly a cold, icy wind comes through the ballroom out of nowhere. The temperature drops drastically. And with that, the shutters on the windows close, and the door in which this group entered slams shut. Well, this was quite startling for this group, and they ran for the door. They ran. This came out of nowhere, and they hightailed it for the exit. However, as they got to the door was locked, and they couldn't open it. So this grand door to this grand ballroom, which shut on its own, was locked solid, and they couldn't move. And as they're trying to open the door, they hear the piano start to play. And the piano starts to play. What would you think? Old Lang Syne is playing. And in addition to that, as this tune is playing, they begin to hear singing, of quiet singing, and it's getting louder and louder as they're singing the old Lang Syne, old Lang Syne. Should old acquaint. This is singing and ringing through the place. Now these kids are petrified at what they're seeing. They don't know what to do. They're glued against the door, trying to escape. To nothing is happening. And this continues. So this continues until the song plays out. And when the song plays out to the end, as it comes to its final note, silence comes back to the room. The doors open, the windows open, and the temperature rises back to normal. All as the clock strikes 12. An old, abandoned grandfather clock in the hall of the mansion strikes 12. How it's working, no one really knows. But at this point, they hightail it out of the place completely petrified of what they just experienced. Hello, honeybee. Good to see you. Excuse me. And it wasn't until after the event, later that next day, when they start to ask around in town, and they they finally hear a backstory of how this individual that owned this home loved to have these New Year's Eve balls. And it is said that, in fact, he died on New Year's Eve unexpectedly one night in the 20s when he was in the midst of his silent film career. And as such, that's kind of why the place fell into repair. He didn't have family. He didn't have heirs. The place just sat there, but his spirit seems to have still been haunting this place, and it comes to life on New Year's Eve, which was probably his most favorite time of year, where he would actually play that famous song at midnight with his party goers. So this group of teenagers in Willowbrook, Illinois, encountered this in 1987. Now, this is the only account I've ever heard of something like this here in this location. And it wasn't too long after that, a few years after that, when the mansion was completely demolished. So there's nothing left there today. There's probably housing projects, which there always are in these locations, or homes or something like that. But the old mansion is long gone. And so is the spirit, I assume, of this owner this silent film star owner who haunted it from the 20s. So that was an interesting word of mouth story that I heard on New Year's Eve. And the thing I want to point out to these stores, like I said, I have three of them, but they're not really, they're kind of linked to New Year's Eve. They just happen to happen on New Year's Eve. These stories happen to happen on New Year's Eve. So that's why they're a New Year's Eve story. There's nothing really related to New Year's Eve itself. I guess you could say this was because he died on New Year's Eve. Who knows? But anyway, that's the first story, the haunted piano. I call it the haunted piano of Willowbrook, Illinois, because the piano seemed to be the focal point of the ghostly activity, and scared the wits out of our teenagers looking for some action on a New Year's Eve. All right, that was number one. Let's see. Now, let's go on to number two. Now, number two, we were just in Illinois. Now we're going to go down to North Carolina. Now, this one I call The Lighthouse Keeper's Wife. And this takes place in a coastal town by the name of Seabreeze, North Carolina. And it revolves around a lighthouse there. And this lighthouse was built in 1875. Now, let me show you what this lighthouse looks like, if I may. Let's see, where is it? Okay. It's actually on a place called Currituck Beach, but it's in Seabreeze, North Carolina. I put that on full screen so you get a better look at it. Now, this lighthouse was built in 1875, so it's a solid brick structure, a very old structure that has been maintained over the years. Not so much for its lighthouse duties, but more so for the historic and beauty of it. So it's been around for quite a while, 150 years. And around this lighthouse, they often on New Year's Eve have fireworks to bring in the new year. So they will come about. The people of the town will come about around the lighthouse on the beach to watch the fireworks and ring in the new year. So this became a tradition in Seabreeze, North Carolina. So a lot of people would go there every New Year's Eve, relax, spend and North Carolina is not really that cold that time of year. It can get a cold snaps here and there, but for the most part, you can be outside. So people would take advantage of that, and they would go to the beach to watch the new year be rung in by the fireworks. And this became a tradition for many years. However, in 2003, it didn't happen for some reason. There was the fireworks were canceled in 2003. But however, there was a couple that went to the beach nonetheless. It was a boyfriend and a girlfriend who had been doing it for their whole lives, and they wanted to still carry on the tradition, even though there were no fireworks and no official event this year. They wanted to carry on the tradition of being at the lighthouse on New Year's Eve as the new year rung in. So this couple goes there, and I forget what their names were. I did have names for them, but doesn't really matter, does it? Just a boyfriend and a girlfriend. And Sarah, Sarah and Mark are their names. Yes, Sarah and Mark. So they plan at a romantic evening by themselves to watch, to look out and gaze out over the ocean while the lighthouse swirls and shines and New Year's Eve rings in. However, as New Year's Eve approaches, they are settled in next to the lighthouse itself. That lighthouse keeper's home or cottage is where they were. They had gained access to it somehow and were just chilling out there, relaxing, waiting for the new year. When suddenly they hear footsteps on the spiral stair inside the lighthouse that goes up to the top. Now, this is very odd because they're alone here. No one's there. It's not an event. The historical site is closed. They just happen to be trespassing, so to speak, to spend the evening there. But they hear the sound and they hear footsteps going up the stairs, and it gets louder. Footsteps going up the stairs. So they decide to investigate, and they go outside and they look up at the top of the tower of the lighthouse, and they see at the top of the tower on the railing that surrounds it, they see a woman in a long white dress with beautiful blonde flowing hair, basically leaning over the railing. And they look up to her, and they see that she has like a somber look on her face. And in fact, she's beginning to cry. And they hear her saying, "Help, help, help me, help me." Now, the couple is startled. They don't know what to do. So they call up to the woman, "Do you need help? Do you need help?" And all she does is keep saying, "Help me, help me, help me," as tears are pouring down her face. Well, the couple decides they need to go up the lighthouse stairs to see if they can help this poor woman. And they do just that. And they make their way up the lighthouse stairs to the top, very top, where they come out and they see on the balcony, there's this woman flowing in the wind. Her white dress is flowing in the wind. Her hair is flowing in the wind. And they are just about to go up to her when she turns to them and vanishes into thin air. Without an explanation, without a sound, without anything. She just completely vanishes. So that was enough for these two as they scurried back down out of the lighthouse and away back to their car, not knowing what they just witnessed. They didn't even wait for midnight. Now, this happened just before midnight, but it could have been actually at midnight that she vanished. By the time they got up the stairs, they were so distracted by the event that they didn't realize, what time it was. So it could have been midnight exactly when she vanished. So here we have a couple that's startled by this apparition that was actually interacting with them, calling for their help. And just about when they were to reach to the spirit, she vanishes at the stroke of midnight. So the next day, they decide to do some research and to find out what exactly they experienced. And they learn a story that is akin to this lighthouse, which was in the year 1900. The lighthouse keeper and his wife lived on the premises. And one stormy evening, the lighthouse keeper went out on a ship to look for a lost ship. So he took out a boat out into the ocean to retrieve a lost ship. Excuse me. And this happened in a New Year's Eve, 1900. Now, this trip was not a wise choice because the storm was raging at the time. There was a storm that was raging, and it ended up taking the ship as well as the lighthouse keeper ship. It claimed them both. And it is said that the wife of the lighthouse keeper was so distraught at it that she ended up drowning herself by walking into the ocean in hopes of finding her lost husband. And this all happened on New Year's Eve in the midst of a violent storm off the coast. And it is said that her spirit still haunts the lighthouse today, looking for help. She's crying for help, one for herself or probably for her husband, so to speak. Help me find my husband, as she met her watery doom looking for him in the ocean. So, a sad story, but these unexpected people, Mark and Sarah, encountered this spirit without any knowledge on New Year's Eve at the stroke of midnight, just by happenstance, because normally there would be a lot of activity there, a lot of fireworks, people all around. And I guess the spirit would not come out with all that activity. But since they were alone and it was very quiet and somber, she came about and they got to witness her, an apparition, full bodied apparition that interacted with them on New Year's Eve. So there you have it, the lighthouse keeper's wife, the spirit of the lighthouse keeper's wife in Sea Breeze, North Carolina. All right, that's number 2. All right, let's see. All right, my last story. Like I said, this is a light one. I only have 3 this week. So I know you usually have 5 or 6, but I'm limited as to what actually took place on New Year's Eve. So, all right, my last story is called The Spirit Conductor, or the Ghost Conductor of the Old Theater. Now, this one takes place in New York City. So we started out in Illinois. We went down to North Carolina. And now we're ending up in New York City. And what better place to be in New York City on New Year's Eve? Famous for the festivities on that time. Hello, Gina. Good to see you. Hi, Big Bones. Good to see you. All right. Yes, Big Bones. We were saying how I was off too. I didn't even realize this was a Friday until recently. I just got so, with the holidays, I forgot that there was a Friday here. But anyway, so the old theater. Now, there was an old theater in New York City called the Strand, Strand. And the Strand was a famous theater. Now, let me show you what it looked like. It's no longer there. This has been demolished. But let me show you what it looks like, so you get a good idea of what I'm speaking of. Here we have the Strand. Put that on full screen if I can. There you go. Now, this is in Manhattan, or was in Manhattan. It no longer exists. This was taken in the 20s or 30s, I think, this picture. And it was during that time that it was at its heyday. It was an off-Broadway theater, and a lot of famous plays done there. And after its time as a theater passed, it became a bar, like a themed bar type of thing, where people would go there and look at the theater. The theater would still be there, but the real purpose was going there to eat and drink and have a party, carouse, et cetera, et cetera. And thus it was open on New Year's Eve in 1987. And that's when our story takes place, New Year's Eve, 1987. So a group of friends decides to go to the Strand on that particular New Year's Eve to celebrate the coming of the new year, the coming of 1988. And so they spend their time drinking and reveling and eating and having a grand old time. And as the night wears on, I should speak, midnight comes and goes, and they celebrate, and the crowd begins to thin out. But our group of friends decides they're going to hang out and make this as long as they can. Let's spend the good times together while we can. So they do, and they begin to meander around the old theater and check it out, drink in hand, just inquiring as to what it was like, and thinking back to the times when there was theater, when there was operas and there was plays and all kinds of musicals, etc., happening here. And eventually they find themselves in the back. They make themselves to the balcony, the beautiful balcony that was still there. Like I said, at the time, this was all preserved and was quite an attraction. So, it makes sense that people would want to look around and see what's happening. And they do this and they end up on the balcony. Now, while they're on the balcony, however, they look out onto the old stage and suddenly they see a man standing there in top hat and tuxedo. And he is standing on the stage just below in front of the orchestra well, which is still there. And he seems to be conducting an orchestra. Well, they call down to this person and say, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" "Osada, how are you, my friend? Good to see you." um, Member for what? That's interesting. What is that? Member for 4 months. What does that mean? I never saw that before. Osada, what did you do there? You're highlighted as green, and it says member for 4 months. That's interesting. I'm letting this disrupt my story, but I don't know. I've never seen that before. Huh? With your upside down writing. Interesting. Anyway, so they see this gentleman out on the stage conducting, wearing a top hat and a tuxedo, and they call down to him, "What? Hello there, hello there, come!" But he doesn't respond. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't even look up. So one of our party decides they're going to go down and investigate, and this woman does just that. She goes down while the rest of the party stays up on the balcony and is watching. She goes down to the stage, and she makes her way up to the stage and wants to interact with this individual and speak to him and see what's going on. And as she does this, she gets to the stage. Excuse me. Um, and the one thing I forgot to mention about this is that um, that as they see him conducting, they also hear the faint sound of orchestra music, but there's no orchestra present. Now, the group assumed it was, piped in. Again, this was a historical building and, bar restaurant in an old theater that was pretty famous in its heyday. So maybe this is part of the shtick, right? Maybe this is part of the historical aspects that are happening here. So there's a man conducting and there's faint music of an orchestra. So let's get back to our friend who's down there, makes her way to the stage. She goes up onto the stage and approaches the man in the tuxedo. As she does that, she goes within 5 feet of him when he turns and looks at her. And when he does, she sees that his eyes are missing, that it's a skull, that it is the skull or face of a skull. And with that, she falls, startled, falls back onto her butt. And the people her friends in the balcony gasps. And with that, the apparition vanishes in thin air. Now, she backs away and quickly runs, back to her friends. And when he vanishes, so does the orchestra sound. It vanishes as well. The orchestra music vanishes as well. So this apparition was startled by her and vanished. But she did get a great look at it, and it was indeed a skeletal face of a man in a tuxedo and a top hat conducting an orchestra. So they make their way back to the bar area and they tell the bartender what they experienced. And he simply looks at them, nods his head, and says, "I'm not surprised." And now they were pretty shocked at this because this place never advertised as being a ghostly encounter place or having a legend of a ghost or anything like that. It was kind of kept a secret, and management wanted it to be kept a secret. They didn't want it publicized. So they learned from the bartender that the history behind this is that the old theater used to be on New Year's Eve a hub of activity, and there would be a particular orchestra that would play there, and the conductor of that orchestra would do a final lead a final song at midnight. And in fact, what happened was in the year 1923, he mysteriously died in the middle of conducting that song. So he was conducting the orchestra and he suddenly drops on stage and dies. And at that time, 1923, they didn't really, medical advance wasn't there. And they simply ruled it a massive heart attack without any knowledge as to anything else. But the fact remains that he died in the midst of doing his thing, conducting an orchestra on New Year's Eve. And his spirit comes back every New Year's Eve to relive in hopes of finishing that song, getting his spiritual orchestra to finish that song. Now, the real question is, did our friends interrupt him? And if he actually did finish it, would he have finished his mission? That's a thought. Would he have finished his mission and gone on to the next life? Or would he, did they disrupt him? I don't know. That's just an interesting thought I had just now. But the fact remains is that the building no longer sits. It's no longer there. It's gone. So who knows what became of this ghostly conductor? But he was there in New Year's Eve, 1987, as testified to by this group of friends that were partying that night and encountered him. So there you have it, your third and final story. The Strand, the ghost conductor of the Strand. You had the lightkeeper's wife, and then you had the haunted piano of Willowbrook, Illinois. There you have them. All took place on New Year's Eves, and all word of mouth stories that were passed on from person to person. So there you have it. So, what is happening, guys? Glad to see you guys. Anyone didn't come? Gianni, good to see you. Emmanuel, great to see you as well. Hope you're all having a great New Year. Dave from Boston is here. Awesome. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate that. And I think I said hello to everyone else. Gina, I said hello to. Osada, Honeybee, Big Bones. Good. All right, guys. Thank you. So there you have it. Our 3 stories for New Year's Eve. Not bad, right, Lenny? Considering that I did a whole thing on it last year, New Year's Eve, so I'm kind of out of New Year's Eve ghost stories. But these 3 were kind of interesting to me because they're not really documented history. They're passed down, one-time experiences passed on. It's not like a history of ghostly activity that word got around. It's just one person's encounter. So, all right. So let's talk about some paranormals, if we may. I only have 3 of them. Dean, I don't know what that text is for. What is that? What is that? Dean is texting me something. I don't understand. I don't know. But anyway, let me. His New Year's resolutions, Bill. I think he is being a diet. A diet is not one of them. Let's put it that way. Nor is going to the gym. So, let's start with that. I think he wants to run a show by himself this year. We got to figure out how we can make that happen, right, Lenny? You could do your own show. That would be pretty cool. So maybe that's his resolution. Who knows? Now, I'm going to put the link in the chat. If Osada or Todd Father are around, they want to come up. It is there. And it is, well, in the meantime, hold on. Let me get rid of this. The Strand. Let's get rid of the Strand, if I may. There we go. Hello there.
What's going down?
Oh, nothing. How about you? What's going on with you?
Nothing. I missed the entire show.
That's all right.
I was on the road, and I just came in the house now.
All right. Well,
So I hope
I only had 3 stories this year. This week it was kind of quiet.
Gotcha.
There we go. Here's Osada with his creepy avatar.
Oh, wow.
How are you?
Let me change that. That was from earlier. Doing good.
What did you guys see what the new sent? I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't either.
He's a raging lunatic.
Oh boy. Anyway, all right. So let's start out with a couple. I have 4, I believe, or 3, maybe 4, and they're kind of lame, but who knows? You know,
Hey,
they're
I'll
worth
get it.
looking at. All right, let's do this one first. What am I doing here? Share my screen. Here we go. All right. Now, this one I didn't really edit, so let me. I got this from. Let's see where I got. I got it from the Slapped Ham. Let's see. And this one is. All right, hold on. This is odd. You see this? All right, all right. Now, this is a picture that was taken on the streets of New Orleans in front of an old, very, very old building, one of the oldest buildings in the city. And you're going to see people on the sidewalk, I believe. Okay. Now, hold on. Now, you see the person up front? You see the face of this person up front? It's a guy, and there's a girl's head right in front. Look between them. You see a girl, which looks like she's very pale, and she's wearing like a dress from like the 1800s. Hello there.
It's weird. Yeah.
You see that?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, it is strange.
I didn't see it at first. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. No, you have to look at it. You really can't. Like you have to concentrate to look at it. But what the story behind this is that this is somebody on the streets of New Orleans that was, just taking random pictures in the crowd with their phone, and this appeared, and supposedly there was no one there. Supposedly there was no girl there.
Really?
But it does look creepy. It looks like the girl is like holding a doll too, to me.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's what it looks like to me.
I agree.
Yeah, so Tammy says, looks like she's holding a teddy bear. Yeah, it could be, sure. Hey, Gen X, good to see you, my friend.
There's no like history of any other story about a little girl having an incident down there or anything?
No. The only thing is that this is like one of the oldest buildings in New Orleans. It's, I forgot what they call it. Like, when it was first settled, this was like a trading post, a French trading post. So it's like 400 years old. This area here. So who knows? It could be anything. It really could be anything with so much history. I don't know.
It doesn't. I mean, if you zoom in on it, on the head, the top part of the head from the nose up looks like it's a different. It looks weird. Like she's got like a skinny neck, and then the part of her face. It doesn't look right.
Right.
Like a bulging cheekbone or something.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So there's something there.
Looks like maybe like a mask that
Like
she's
wearing
holding.
a mask. Yes. No, like
they're holding the mask in the front by like her belly. Like you see the 2 eye holes there.
No,
like
but
No, I was thinking like those old balls, those old masquerade balls where they have the mask that goes just like this.
Oh yeah.
like that, exactly.
Yeah.
But I also don't love the contrast between her dress and the guy's face. That's a little sus as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it just looks a little weird to me.
Can't.
The
I
lines
can't
there.
zoom in on this from where I don't know why I can't do it. I can't zoom in from my screen on this. But here's my thoughts. I think it's a creepy ass photo though. Honestly, I think it's really
For
creepy.
sure. No.
But I don't think it's a ghost because the light on this guy's bald head here is the same that's on her. You know what I mean? It's not. It's like she's a real person here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the light is reflecting on her. So it could very well be just someone in period dress, a girl in period dress in front of this building. But that's my thought. That's why I don't think it's, I wouldn't try to argue that this is a real ghost. I just think it certainly is a creepy photo. So let's see, Ryan.
Well,
with you, go ahead.
The guy whoever took that photo, it's always like, we can always speculate all we want, but if we're not there and the person that took it swears that they didn't see anything, there was not no one back there.
Yeah,
that's, you know what I mean? Like that person has to live with that, and I know what that's like because you guys know my ghost stories, so it's hard to say.
Right. Yeah, so let's see. So Gen X says the light, he picks up on the light too. The light on the blonde lady's hair, the fella's jacket beside her. Yeah, it has the same light coloring. Absolutely. Now, Ryan thinks that it's a black and white photo put in there.
Yeah, maybe.
It could be. What does Johnny say here? Does Johnny have anything to say here? I don't know what he's talking about. He's talking about something else. All right. So I don't know. I think this is creepy because it's, it looks creepy. I don't think it's a real ghost, but I think it's a cool picture. All right. Let's get rid of that. All right, let's look at this one. This is a security camera in a building. The front entrance building picks this up. Now, in this, you're going to see the security guard sitting at a desk, and you're going to see the security guard react for what it's worth.
What's up, Nick?
Here we go. All right. Yankees is in the building. Hey, Yankees, how are you?
I literally talked to him on the way home from dropping off my son.
Nick M., good to see you too. All right.
Well, I won't be mean to him in your show.
Let's do this. All right, here we go. I see the security guard there. Now watch. You see that? You see that right there?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see. And you see him. He'll react.
Now this one I could believe already.
Now he's like, "What did I just see?" He's like, "What did I just see there?" Because
he may not even have seen what we've seen on camera, because sometimes what you see on camera is a little bit different than what you experience in real life, I think.
Yeah.
He definitely felt or seen something go by, though.
Let me go back in slow motion here. So what we see is just like a blob, like a white blob going by.
Hi, Marta.
Hi, Marta. How are you? All right, here we go. Let's start it. Let's do it frame by frame here. There it is. Now it starts at here. It starts here on the left corner of the black carpet, and then it's going to the right. It's like a round blob of a mist going, and then it vanishes.
So Johnny says that this guy is famous for these type of videos, maybe?
Oh, the guard?
Yeah. He says, I've seen this one before. He's got a lot of these on film, the security guard.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's true or not.
Huh, could be.
I know what it is.
What is it?
He's just vape. He's just vaping.
A big cloud of vape?
Cloud of
Yeah,
vape
that's all
got
it
away.
is.
And he's like, look at that. Look at my vape. Look where it
Yeah,
went.
that's what he did. He blew out. You can't see it blowing out of his mouth, but it ends up under the desk and across. Telling you.
Look at that. He's like, whoa, look at that.
Yeah. Whoa.
We've caught a few of these ghosts before. Interesting. Well, you know, some people do attract spirits. My ex was one of them. She was just evil that way. I'm not kidding. She was so evil
you
that
were
she-
friends with your ex.
No, I have 2 exes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got 3 kids and 2 exes, and then yeah, my original ex we're friends, but
Okay.
my youngest one, yeah, she's a psychopath.
Okay.
Robert Cherry's hello.
Hello, Robert Cherries. How are you? Do
I
you
don't
guys
own a haunted doll.
haunted doll? No, I do not own a haunted doll, nor do I ever want to.
Absolutely not.
No, thank you.
Do you?
Yeah, do you, Robert? Do you have one? Just watched a video on that. It's funny you bring up haunted dolls. I just watched a video on this guy that goes he purchases them on eBay and to see if they're frauds or if they're real. And how he deciphered it, he says that the ones that there were haunted dolls on there for like $300, $400, and he said those are frauds because people are just trying to make money. Where the real ones would be the ones that people are giving away for free or for like $1 or $10. So it was an interesting concept, because if it is haunted, you want to get rid of it, right? So why would you be trying to get money out of it? You just want to get rid of it.
That's funny, Johnny.
Robert Cherries, I'm about an hour and a half from you in Buffalo. Not far away from Toronto. Been there many times.
Oh, we know a guy in Belleville that does. Oh, Sticks? Sticks has a haunted doll? I didn't know that. Well, how do you know he's in Toronto, Todd?
He just set it up there. You set it up.
Oh, he said it above that.
Guys, come to Toronto. It's very haunted.
Okay, I see it. Yeah, there it is. Yep. All right. Yeah, I've never done a Toronto haunted show. I gotta look into that, because I'm running low on ghost stories. I've done every state in the union, so.
Well, you know, the the kitchen that I rent and the musical playhouse is connected to it. I'm always talking about I'm scared to go in there at night.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't know this, but it was co-owned by a gay couple, by 2 guys. Okay. And one of them just died a couple of nights ago, unfortunately. And so now I'm really going to be scared to go in there.
Did he die on the premises?
I don't know.
Oh,
but you know, they love that place. That's
yeah.
they love. So he's going to be there. I know it.
Oh boy. I wouldn't go there. I'm like you. I'm with you. I wouldn't go there. All right, let's see. What do I got here? The next one. All right, this one's not a ghost video, but I just thought this was cool, so I'm gonna show it. Let's see here. This is taking place at a batting cage. Kid is in the batting cage, taking some swings, and watch what happens in the batting cage. I mean, I think it's pretty cool. Watch this. Did you catch what happened there?
No.
The ball landed exactly back on the tee. Watch. Bounces off the wall. It happens so fast. It bounces off the wall, and the net and goes back to the tee.
Yeah.
It's like a 1 in a billion chance that something
Right.
like that would happen.
Is that even possible?
And you could see the kid freaking out, right? He's like jumping and like, oh my God, what happened? Look at this.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I think what happens is it bounces off like there's like a pitch back in the front. So it bounces off the pitch back, it hits the net over here up above him, and then it just falls into the like a freak thing. It falls right back onto the tee.
Wow.
And actually, it looks like it bounces on the ground and then lands on the tee. Like it looks like it like bounces on the ground and pops back up onto the tee. It happens so fast. But that's what it looks like to me.
But you think a spirit did that, or you think it's just
No,
a very crazy coincidence?
No, there was nothing around this. Like there was nothing on here about spirits or ghosts with this.
Oh, okay.
It's just
Yeah, it definitely hit the ground. It bounced back up.
yeah, it's like a freak thing. And I just
It's
thought it
still
was
cool though.
Yeah. All right. Now my last one. Let's see. All right. Where's my last one?
Johnny needs to see the instant replay on that. He's calling bullshit. He said it was a pop fly.
What? Come on. Johnny is a little overkill here with the doubting everything. Hold on.
Yeah, calm down. Calm down, Gianni. Calm down.
Here we go. All right, now this is another one of these security cameras, and now we have the problem of filming a screen, which always annoys me because they're filming the screen on their phone, so that gives it an opportunity for something else, like reflections and other things to happen.
Right.
But I'll play it anyway. Let's see.
Ooh.
Now the question is that this is my question. Is it in the video itself, or is it a reflection while the guy's filming in the video, filming the desktop? I don't know. Let's do it again here, slowly. All right. So this looks like it's in the video, though. Look how deep it comes from that darkness over there, right?
Yeah.
You see it here. And now it goes like this. And it's moving really fast. And then it's gone.
That's pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Let's just say you're getting really sleepy and it's time you're about ready to go to bed and you just happen to glance at your security camera and you see that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sleeping.
It's a good way to stay awake.
Yeah, I'm not going to bed. I need to figure out what the hell is going on. In fact, I'll probably just pack my bag for the night and go stay at somebody's house.
Yeah, and there's nothing you're gonna shoot. You can't shoot that thing.
No.
So this was from 2023. It looks like May 11th, 2023. It's just yeah, that's I don't know.
I mean, it's possible like it's a bug,
Yeah.
But at the same time, like if you were looking at that yourself at night, yeah, freak me out.
Yeah, that is a good point. It could be like some type of bug flying by, and then the camera elongates it as it's but who knows? It's just
that's a good assumption.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but it's definitely cool to look at. So that one was okay. I'll go with that one. Being cool. All right, and that's it. That's all I had this week. Not a lot this week, and so Now Johnny says definitely a ghost. There's no other explanation.
Oh, boy. I mean, if Johnny says it's a ghost, then it must be. I mean,
I know, right?
that's gospel.
So
Oh, those were good ones.
yeah, I mean they're entertaining. I think entertaining.
Well,
And
if I'm driving down a country road, because I was on a country road today out in Enumclaw, and you break down at night, I mean, I'm immediately going to be scared, and that's the first thing I'm going to think about is freaking ghosts and wolves and shit and like animals. But I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be terrified if I'm out in the middle of the night on a dark country road. I'm going to be thinking about there's probably ghosts out here or something's going to get me.
yeah. Well,
You know?
Have you ever heard foxes? Do you ever hear the fox when at night when it's barking?
It's terrifying.
Yeah,
It is.
fucking
It's one of the scariest sounds I've ever heard.
Yeah,
in my
it's bad.
life.
Yeah.
Like what that? Like what is that? A demon? You know, like it's so weird that sound.
Yeah, I hear it at my parents'.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get them. You know, like there's like so many of them around here. And the other night I woke up to it. Like it was like right outside my window, and I was like, oh, you know. And even though I know what it is, it's like a chilling sound to hear,
Oh, sure.
even though I know what it is.
Yep. Haunting.
But yeah. So anyway, so that's what's going on, guys. Thank you for hanging out and going through them with me. And
Yeah, and, I had a ghost cut my brake line today.
I
So,
know. And Stiggs told you how to fix it right on the spot. So
Yeah,
you're good to go.
yeah. He told me that a squeaky brakes are brake lines. I'm just glad I wasn't doing
Smarten
60
up,
miles
Ed.
an hour.
Smarten up.
And they, what's that?
He told you to smarten up. You don't take care of your car.
Yeah, I don't take care of my car, but yet squeaky brakes means a brake line's gonna break. Oh my god, I was actually really mad at that point.
I figured you were, because considering the situation you were in, I figured you'd be mad at that comment.
Yeah, it just I went to put the car in reverse and I hit the brake pedal, went right to the floor. I went outside, there was a puddle. I was like, all right. I just 2 minutes after that, I would have been on the throughway on the way to work.
I know it's
So
dangerous.
I got lucky.
Dangerous.
Someone's looking out for me.
Yep.
So afraid.
Yeah.
But yeah, eventful Friday.
Yeah. Well, it's a new
Well,
year, right? You're gonna have wacky stuff happen. That's how it
yes,
goes.
sir.
So it's
Right
funny
on.
because my friend, I'm sorry, my son's friend. This is funny. You talk about cars. Yesterday, my son's friend, he bought this old truck. He bought this old truck off Facebook Marketplace, and I'm laughing, but I shouldn't be laughing. The thing caught on fire. The thing actually went on fire yesterday at their other friend's house. Like it just combusted. It just it burnt. It burnt. Just
Oh,
completely.
you sure they weren't trying to do any modifications to it and it
I don't
sparked
know.
up?
I don't know, but it did catch on fire and and burnt up.
It's a total loss.
Well, he only bought it for $500, so it's
Yeah.
not. It's definitely not a scam of any type. You know what I mean? It's not like an insurance scam or anything. He didn't have any insurance on that. It just burnt. So I don't know. All right, Gianni, thank you for stopping in. Appreciate it and hanging out. Hi, Kelly. Good to see you, Kelly.
Did you read Dave's comment?
Anybody see the girl in Arkansas hiking and got mauled and killed by a mountain lion? She was alone. Oh, no, I did not hear about that. That's horrible.
What about that fire in Switzerland?
Yeah, that's a tragedy.
That
That's
reminds
bad.
me of, wasn't there one of those in the US? Wasn't it like a gay bar or something?
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
In
that's
Florida.
horrible stuff.
Well, this one, the entrance was blocked, and then there was just a bunch of people that were filming that could have been helping getting people out through the windows and stuff. It's just not good.
Well, that's the evil of social media right there.
Yeah.
It permeates through society. This is what people are worried about, filming it instead of helping. I'd like to say that I would be different, and I'd like to say that anyone that I know would be different, that we wouldn't be
Right.
filming, you know. Um, I don't know if I'd run in to save anyone though. Just to be honest, I'd be afraid. Maybe I'd be afraid. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, well, they
I
didn't have to
certainly
run
wouldn't be
in because
filming.
there was people that were opening these windows to let people out because there was people like banging on the windows. But then
Yeah.
you could just see people just standing there holding their phone, and it's like,
Mm.
just drop your phone and go
Yeah, it's
try to open it.
ridiculous.
Get a rock, something. You know, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yep.
know one thing. I wouldn't pick my phone up to record that. That's for damn sure.
No, absolutely not. No way
You know,
would I do that. That's
Yeah.
that's disgusting. It's disgusting behavior.
yeah,
It's it's cold, callous, inhumanity to human. You know, it's just inhumanity to do that. You know, like you're detaching yourself and you're basically forfeiting your soul when you do that because eh, you're nothing but a computer basically at that point. You're filming it. You're filming an action. You know, that's all you're doing. You don't care about it at all. So it's just terrible.
yeah.
Fear of missing out, I guess. It's horrible.
It's all about the clicks and views these days. For a lot of people, they live their life by that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
certainly, certainly.
all right then. I
All right, well,
appreciate
guys,
you
thank
having
you
me
so
up.
much. Thank you for coming up, and hope your guys are going to have a wonderful New Year. I hope everyone in the chat's going to have a great New Year, and I'll see you next time, I guess.
Yes, sir. All
Yeah.
right.
Having
Thanks,
us.
guys.
See you later.
Yep. All right, everyone. So thank you for joining on this January 2nd, 2026. I'm thinking about what's going to happen to the channel in the coming year. Um, and I was thinking about doing some changes. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'll always want to do ghost stories, but I may expand it and do some history. I want to do some strange history stuff, you know, real history that people don't know about that I think is interesting. I was thinking about doing some shows on that. I don't know if there'll be lives or pre-records, but I wanted to expand the show a little bit and away from just ghost stories. I don't want to just do that alone. Quite frankly running out of ghost stories. Like I said, I've I've gone through every state in the union. Um, I guess I could go to other countries, but I don't know if I want to do that. I mean, Canada I can do certainly, Mexico, those things, but I don't know if I want to go throughout the world and do ghost stories. So we'll see what happens. I think I might do some more history stuff. So stay tuned for that. If you like that, it should be cool. And until then, I want to thank each and every one of you for being a part of this channel, building the guild. Hit the like button, and I will see you next week. Until then, God bless. Have a great one. Happy New Year.